Hello and welcome. I am so excited to start working on the Festive Thread. It is August, and every year around December, Mom and I start thinking like we probably should have done some holiday stuff before December. So what I'm working on now is actually, it's not Christmas related. It is a Cajun New Year. I kind of knew what I wanted to do. I threw in some prompts to ChatGPT and I was like, okay, what would a quilt look like if it were in a swamp? It had an alligator. It was celebrating New Year's in South Louisiana. Like, throw it at me, bro. What you got? And so ChatGPT sent me a vision, and it was really cool. I really like it, and I'm just gonna go with it. And so I'm gonna show you how I work through the pattern. We're gonna make it together, and it's gonna be super fun. This is not a tutorial. This is just me showing you the process of how I make the quilts. And so let's get started on a Cajun New Year. This quilt, it's a wall hanging. I think I set it to 25 inches wide and it ended up being about 30 inches long. So it's a wall hanging, it's decorative. My hope is that I can get lots of embellishments on it. But the first thing I did was to create the whole pattern. So I've got an alligator with a champagne glass with a Mardi Gras mask, a hat, trees, lily pads. I mean, there's like all the things in it. So there's a lot of different pieces. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna separate all those pieces out. I'm gonna print them out. I'm gonna piece the background together, and then I am going to collage quilt and applique a lot of the pieces onto the top. And so that's kind of my style. That's what I do. I call it raw edge quilting. Sometimes I do more traditional kind of collage quilting where I put sticky on the back. Sometimes I just do what I like to call like fabric painting, basically where you're coloring in an image with tiny little bits of fabric. And so I haven't really decided how I'm gonna do the main parts of this quilt. There's fireworks in the background, and I really wanna do some embroidery, which I'm not good at, but let's see how it goes. So we've got, guys, a little bit of everything in this quilt, and we've got not much time to finish it. So let's see what we can get started. Okay, so what I've done is I have separated the champagne glass, the mask, the hat, the trees and moon from the background. The alligator is still in a few different pieces. I'm gonna wait and do him later, so I'm not sure exactly what's gonna happen with that. So once I've got all the pieces separated, in order to print them properly, I need to make art boards that are the size of printer paper, so that when I print them out, I can easily put them together, and then you'll get the big picture. So that's what I'm doing here, is I am making smaller art boards in Adobe so that I can print them out. So I've got the water lilies, the champagne glass, the moon, the hat, the alligator is in pieces, I totally forgot. Okay. We're gonna put him back together later. But actually this isn't too bad. This is only 4 sheets of paper for all of the small things. This isn't too bad, y'all. I might be able to get this done rather quickly. Okay, so let's see if I can turn the trees sideways. And actually, I don't really need the branches. Okay, this tree seems so small now that I'm looking at it on paper. The whole thing is 26 inches wide and 30 inches long. So yeah, everything's smaller than, like, I'm picturing big scale. It's not, it's small. I have to remind myself, okay, so it's all, this tree is fitting on 1 sheet of paper. That's kind of throw me off. Okay, those are so small, guys. They're so small. Everything looks so small. In my brain, it was huge. in my brain, these are huge. And they are not. Okay. We're printing one-sided because you got to tape them together. Okay. Let's do it. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm going to get them.
Catfish and cook it and clean it up right. She can make love under the moonlight on a Louisiana Saturday night. Ain't nothing my woman can't do. That's why I always say she's the only one I'll ever love till my dying day. She's my Cajun girl. She likes to hold me tight. She likes to dance all night in her gingham dress. She's a young man's dream. With her long black curls, she's my whole world. She's my Cajun girl. Cajun girl, she's my whole world. She like to hold me tight. She like to dance all night in her gingham dress. Long, she's a young man's dream. With her long black curls, she's my whole world. She's my Cajun girl. With her long black curls, she's my whole world. She's my Cajun girl.
So I'm looking at the original and the colors are beautiful, but I don't want to buy new fabric. I want to look through my stash, and I really don't know if I have the same colors for the sky and the water. Now the alligator and the trees, I have plenty of stash to cover that. But this really beautiful blue, deep blue sky and the color of the water, I'm not sure if I have. So I'm just gonna look through my tub of blue and we're gonna pick the best that we have for a night sky. Now, a lot of it's gonna be covered, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Same thing with the water. I want it to be, you know, we don't have crystal blue water here, but it's also not chocolate in most places. We don't wanna put chocolate water in the quilt. So I am just going to dig through my stash and find some blues and some water, some swamp water color for the quilt, because I'm not going to buy new fabric for this. I have a massive stash that I can use. This is cool. I like that one. It's dark, it's not bright blue. That might be a great sky, actually. I kind of am digging that for the sky. I think I've got the color combination that I need. So the picture has water, and again, you know, it's night. It's nighttime in Louisiana. This is the water. I really think it's gonna work. With the sky. And then the tree line has dark trees and then a row of lighter, like just kind of a straight line. And so I can use this for that straight line. I can also use this for the lily pads and the grass, and I have tons of green fabric. I'm gonna make the back piece a little bit bigger than it needs to be so that I can trim it down and make it all pretty and square. So the bottom water space is about 15 inches, the top 16 with a 1.5 to 2 inch green strip in the middle. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make the top with the first tree line. I am going to collage that on and then kind of maybe sew it down, tack it down, and then I'm going to put a strip in, and then I'm going to sew the bottom piece together. And so all together this piece is 28 inches wide and about 32 inches long. So I'm going to do it at least, you know, 29 by 33 maybe, or you know, 30 by 35. So I've got, and then that way I can trim it down. Done. Looks super what it cute. Needs to be. So I've got the sky, the tree line, this little band of green, and the milky brown Louisiana water. Okay, so I have all of the pieces together. I've got the alligator, the champagne, the hat, the moon, everything. I'm ready to go. I have it on a board. I have to iron the pieces onto the background, so I have them all pinned, and I'm going to do my best to keep them together. It's kind of a lot. So with that, let's see what I can do. So here it is. They're not pinned yet, actually. Lilies are in place. Now, this big old piece of fabric that's underneath the gaiter does not have any adhesive behind it yet. So we have the Misty Fuse behind the green fabric, and we're ironing it just to make it stick. I am going to sew it, but we're basically appliquing this big raw piece. And then I'm gonna go and sew over it. Now, the gaiter has sticky behind it, so when I iron the gaiter down, he's gonna stay. The mask is already attached. The champagne glass I can iron in place. Okay, so I've got all of everything done. Everything is basted down. I have it ready to go, and I am putting it on Hazel, the long arm. Okay, so I used 5 different color threads. All the greenery, I used a bright green thread because that's what I had. I kind of like it. I don't really know. I'm gonna have to wait and see when I pull it off. Maybe look at it tomorrow, the next day. I had a really dark charcoal gray that I used on the alligator. In my brain, I was outlining him in black. It didn't quite turn out that way. I used a longer stitch length and a darker thread, hoping that it would look like that, but it really doesn't. I still am pleased with it. I used blue in the water, blue in the sky, gray for the moon and the circle around the moon. So I've got all sorts of different colors here. I'm about to pull it off the long arm, and I'm so excited. Like, this is really, really a fun project. I had a lot of fun doing this. And here it is, almost done. Loving it. Okay guys, I've never done this before. I have no idea how it's gonna go. I'm gonna ask for some grace as I roll around on the floor and try to put this wall hanging on a frame that has a picture of a cow that I absolutely love. In fact, I loved it so much I had to make a quilt before I am experimenting with this. So I am gonna measure out, make sure that the fabric is going to cover where I want it to cover, and it may not, because I accidentally cut this piece. We'll see. Okay, so I've got my staple gun. Okay, so I don't know exactly how this is gonna work out, but we're doing it anyway. This is an experiment. I'm too old to be on the ground like this, y'all. Seriously. So it doesn't exactly reach to the back, but it does cover the sides. I'm gonna take these off, these little hanger things, and I'm going to put them back on above, on top of the fabric, so that I can make sure that the back is pretty. So let's do that. I'm gonna do a few on the top, flip it over, see what we think. right, let me look at it from the other way, see if I like it. Oh, it's so cute. I think I like it. Cheers. I'm gonna trim the puff on his head because I think that's just a little bit too obnoxious, even for Mardi Gras. I feel like I need to embellish it more, but it's already on the canvas, so I'm not sure. So here's to a Cajun New Year. I think it turned out great. And thanks to ChatGPT for participating in the party here.